Breaking news. Big changes for the Falcons. Something big just happened, and it caught some fans off guard. After Friday's game, the Atlanta Falcons made some important roster changes. Let's break it all down. But before we dive into the details, make sure to hit that like button so you don't miss any updates. We've got some key developments to discuss after our week in Miami, and as we get closer to the new season, you'll want to stay informed. Now, let's get straight to it. The Falcons made several roster moves after their joint practices and preseason game with the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, we have some tough news. Outside linebacker Brolin Trice and cornerback Harrison Hand have been placed on the reserve injured list. That means they're out for the entire 2024 season. What this means for the team: Brolin Trice, a third-round draft pick, was showing a lot of promise in training camp. He was earning playing time with both the first and second team defenses and was listed as the backup outside linebacker behind Arnold Ebiketie on the team's first official depth chart. But during Friday's preseason game, Trice suffered a knee injury while rushing the passer. It was a tough moment. He had to be helped off the field by the team's trainers. For a rookie with so much potential, this is a huge setback, not just for him, but for the entire Falcons defense. As for Harrison Hand, he got injured last Wednesday during 11-on-11 practice drills. It happened on a deep pass play down the right sideline. He was slow to get up, but he managed to limp off the field on his own. Sadly, the knee injury will keep him out for the season as well. Hand was a recent addition to the Falcons, signing with the team in June. He was competing for the third cornerback spot behind Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips III. Losing both Trice and Hand is a tough blow, especially since the Falcons are working to build a strong defense under new leadership. But that's not all. The Falcons have made more roster moves to adjust to these losses. Stay tuned as we break it all down. Falcons make roster moves. Who's in and who's out? The Falcons have made some big changes at quarterback. First up, Nathan Rourke has been released. Rourke joined the team on August 1st and got his first taste of NFL action in Friday's game. He showed off his mobility with a couple of scrambles, including a 21-yard run, the longest play of the game. However, his passing performance wasn't as strong. He completed just 3 of 13 passes for 37 yards, and it seems the coaching staff decided to go in a different direction. But it's not all exits. The Falcons have also signed 3 new players to strengthen the roster: wide receiver Jakeem Grant, running back Spencer Brown, quarterback John Paddock. Let's break down what each of these players brings to the team. Jakeem Grant, a versatile playmaker. Grant is no rookie. He's been in the NFL for 6 years after being drafted by the Miami Dolphins in 2016. He has played in 81 games across 2 teams, making an impact both on offense and special teams. Although injuries have kept him off the field since 2021, when healthy, Grant is a dynamic weapon. His career numbers include 100 catches for 1,140 yards and 7 touchdowns, 6 return touchdowns. His speed and versatility will be valuable, especially since the Falcons recently placed wide receiver Rondale Moore on the injured list. Grant can contribute as both a receiver and return specialist, giving the team more options on offense and special teams. Spencer Brown, adding depth to the backfield. Brown's journey has been a roller coaster since entering the NFL as an undrafted free agent in 2021. He played 6 games over 2 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, recording 9 carries for 43 yards. While his stats may not stand out, Brown brings depth to the running back group, which could be crucial as the team looks to keep its starters fresh throughout the season. John Paddock, another shot at QB. Paddock is back in Atlanta after being released on August 1st. With Rourke now gone, Paddock will get another opportunity to compete for a roster spot, likely as a developmental quarterback learning behind the team's more experienced QBs. So, Falcons fans, what do you think of these roster moves? Do these new signings make the team stronger? Let us know your thoughts. Falcons face setbacks, but new talent shines. It's always tough to see players go down with injuries, especially young guys like Brolin Trice and Harrison Hand, who were showing so much potential. But that's part of the game, and now it's about seeing how the rest of the roster steps up. What do you think about the addition of Jakeem Grant? Can Spencer Brown or John Paddock make an impact this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's talk about Friday night's game. The Atlanta Falcons took the field against the Miami Dolphins, and while the 23 loss wasn't what we were hoping for, there were still some bright spots worth talking about. Michael Penix Jr. makes his debut. All eyes were on our 2024 first-round draft pick, Michael Penix Jr., and he didn't disappoint. The rookie quarterback showed poise and accuracy, completing 9 of 16 passes for 104 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but that beautiful 41-yard deep pass to Chris Blair was a highlight of the night. After the game, Penix said he wasn't nervous and even felt like the game was slower compared to practice. That's exactly the kind of confidence you want to see from a young quarterback. Carlos Washington Jr., a hidden gem? Another player who turned heads was Carlos Washington Jr. Could he be the diamond in the rough we've been looking for at running back? Last season, Washington was an undrafted free agent stuck on the practice squad, but this year, he's been making waves in training camp. Even though the offensive line struggled to create space, Washington managed to punch in the Falcons' only touchdown of the night. After the defense set up the offense on Miami's 17-yard line, Washington finished the drive with a tough run into the end zone. It wasn't flashy, but it was exactly the kind of effort you need from a hungry player fighting for a roster spot. Falcons roster battles, standouts and struggles. Carlos Washington Jr.'s touchdown wasn't flashy, but it was tough and determined. Exactly what you want to see from a player fighting for a roster spot. But he wasn't the only one making a statement. Casey Washington, more than just a receiver. If you were paying close attention, you probably noticed rookie wide receiver Casey Washington. His stats as a receiver weren't eye-catching, 3 catches on 9 targets, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Casey was making plays on special teams, showing off his versatility and proving he's more than just a one-trick pony. When asked after the game what role he couldn't play, Casey joked that he could contribute on offense, special teams, and even defense. Gotta love that confidence. D'Angelo Malone, special teams standout. Speaking of special teams, D'Angelo Malone was all over the field. The third-year linebacker made 2 crucial tackles on returns, strengthening his case for a spot on the final 53-man roster. Taylor Heinicke's rough night. But let's be real, not everything went smoothly. Taylor Heinicke had a night to forget. If anyone was still wondering why the Falcons drafted a quarterback in 2024, Friday night gave them the answer. Heinicke went 4 for 11 for just 11 yards. Yes, you read that right. 11 yards. Ouch. Add in a costly turnover, and it's clear his future with the team is uncertain. The Falcons already restructured his contract to save cap space, but after that performance, you have to wonder how much longer he'll be around. Where's the pass rush? One of the biggest concerns? The lack of a pass rush. The Falcons failed to record a single sack in 33 dropbacks against Miami's quarterbacks. 0. Nada. Zilch. Yes, injuries to Brolin Trice and DeMarco Hellams hurt, but someone needs to step up. If this doesn't improve soon, it could be a major problem once the regular season begins. Offensive line struggles and special teams miscues. The offensive line wasn't much better, struggling to create running lanes. And let's not forget the sloppy mistakes on special teams. Those botched returns could have been costly turnovers. There's a lot of work to do before the next game, no doubt about it. Carlos Washington Jr., a new mindset. Circling back to Carlos Washington Jr., it's clear this guy is playing with a new level of confidence this year. Last season, he felt like he left opportunities on the table, but now he's trusting himself more, staying focused and leaving it all on the field. Falcons running backs coach Michael Peter has been in his ear, reminding him to relax and just play football, and so far, that mindset shift is paying off. Carlos Washington Jr., making his case for the 53-man roster. It looks like Carlos Washington Jr. is finally taking that advice to heart. He's been getting valuable reps with both the first and second team offense, and it was no surprise to see him leading the charge against the Miami Dolphins. Washington finished the game with 16 carries for 25 yards, including a tough 1-yard push for a touchdown. Sure, he's a bit hard on himself, saying he could have done better, but that's exactly what you want from a player. He's never satisfied and always pushing for more. 2 more preseason games to make his mark. With 2 preseason games left, against the Ravens on August 17th and the Jaguars on August 23rd, Washington has 2 more chances to prove he belongs on the final 53-man roster. There's no doubt that Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier are locked in as the Falcons' top 2 running backs. But Washington has a shot to carve out a role, and head coach Raheem Morris even compared him to Bijan in some ways. That's high praise.